Hello and welcome to the Cat Collective. Today is going to be a special video. I thought I'd show you my own tarot deck, which I made myself. Those are all the original drawings in there, and I'm going to show you each and every card, and I will probably explain a little bit about them as well. So grab a cup of coffee and yeah, let's start. Okay, we are starting with the green card. This is basically something based on the green card that you can use to enter Art America. It's an access to the land, and it can be it has so many meanings. So has every card. So I'm just going to show you every card. This is the classical moon card. So yeah, and this is the sun. This way around. This is the depression card, and it's also you can see that this person is also quite stuck. Yeah. This is a ghost or spirit card, you know, and it's quite abstract because sometimes you don't, you know, this whole other realm is realm is yeah, it's not as dense as our 3D reality, therefore it's not very depicted that way. Yeah, this those are eyes, and they observe you, maybe. And you know, it can come with so many meanings, because can also mean fame of some sort, on social media, for example. If you have got a lot of followers, you've got a lot of eyes on you, right? Oh yeah. The tooth card is, you know, a tooth is something very special. So we all have teeth, and we mostly don't appreciate them until they are gone, or until they hurt, right? We just take them for granted, but they are very special, and we need them. But I mean, we can survive without them, but it's nicer to have teeth. We can all agree with this. So you can, you know, there's so many meanings to a tooth card. This is a ancient cave drawing, right? And it all depends how I put the spread, but this often means just something from the past. It can be other lifetimes, but it could also just mean something from yesterday, you know? Yeah. This is the meditation card, because when you meditate, you clear your head, right? And therefore there's nothing inside. Oh, yeah. I cannot really say except that this is a feeling, and it can, however I put the spread, it can mean so many things, because the face is also masked. So it could be a mask, but this is also a splatter. So however it fits, and also again this stuck feeling. And it's clearly a person, but yeah, can mean a lot of things. Yeah, that's a very wise card. It's the all-watching eye, could be also the third eye. It depends how I read it. And the spiral for me always means a journey, whether it's within, or could mean many things, but it's just something that has more layers than one, you know. Hey, come on, do I need to explain this card? Yeah, it depends, right, how I'm laying it, and what it means in a relationship spread. Well, that's a clear guidance. Yeah. Okay. The healing card, obviously. And yeah, very 3D actually. I'm not sure if you can see it, but yeah, I really like this card. You know, a plaster always reminds me of obviously healing, but that you are actually also able to heal, because the plaster you just put on things which are not too big, right? But for me, you can put a plaster on everything, even if it's a huge wound. So it just means that you are always also a bit protected while you are healing, right? Yeah, that's a shadow card, and all the writing on there is abstract, so those are not really words, but they can represent words, and they can represent thoughts, negative thoughts, thoughts of others, you know, words, so many things. It's just a language. So the, you know, making my own deck is basically my own language with spirit. And yeah. Speaking of more words, well, if you look at this, this person is molded almost into a blob, and it can also mean so many things. It all depends how I lay the cards, how they turn out, and I always mix them with other decks just because I think there's more variety in them, and I really do enjoy the art part of a spiritual journey as well. Therefore, I really enjoy other decks and to look at them, right? The mouth, yeah. Obviously, it can mean so many things. You know what we all can do with our mouth, and it's quite versatile. And therefore, it could mean, because it's closed, it could mean that someone doesn't speak to you, but it also could mean, because of all the words, that someone would like to speak to you, but they don't know how to find words. But it can mean so many things. A mouth, I always look, it always depends. Teeth. So it's basically, you know, the second card, if you see it as a pair to the tooth card, but there are now several of them. So if this is a person that I would describe, it would be that the person has got several people in their surroundings. If I look at them as people, it all depends, you know. Am I repeating myself? Yes, it depends, always. A bridge is something that connects two things, obviously. A foot, well, and a cat here, which is cool because you know which collective we are. And yeah, a foot can represent movement, but it can also represent standing still. It really trains your intuition to use those cards, you know. And this is a house, but it's also quite dense with all those bricks, and it's also not really straight, right? Again, 1,000 meanings in one card. The stars, yeah. Well, they are so many miles apart, right? Stars, but they are all connected. So, yeah. Yeah, this one. Well, if you think about this creature as a person, it's somehow disfigured. There's something about the view they have that, or maybe a change of perspective that has left them a little bit confused. It could also mean that this is a dog. Depends. Yeah. And yeah, we all know this. It's a good idea, but it can also mean light. Yeah. Yeah, this is a person, female, and whatever I'm drawn to, I would point out. This time I'm, you know, it's this spiral again, it's this, but this can also be a feeling if you are excited somehow, you know, it can mean a lot. This is a communication card, and yeah, it's and it's also somehow explained, so the bubble is not just, you know, there's more to what is being said in this card. This can be a moth, but it can also be a butterfly, and butterfly means for me a transformation, and a moth means spiritual gifts in my spiritual language, but it's also not completely mirrored if you see that it's not all the same. So yeah, that can be used in any way. This is a portal, but it's also a door, and I think in a lot of my images they are very day-to-day, you know, a teeth, or, you know, a door, a house. But for me there's so much that connects spirituality and our day-to-day life, so much more than a lot of people realize. Yeah, so that's why I was drawn to this. I must say I drew this whole deck within a few hours. It was almost like channeling. I couldn't stop drawing, and one image after the other popped up, and I just did this, and then after that I laminated the cards. And yeah, it's also funny because I bought a set of those black cards, and I think there were 100 in them, and I just drew on them until they were empty, like the box, or full, however you want to see it. Oh, okay, cool that they are coming up together. Well, we all have been there, I think, when we are supposed to put a mask on ourselves, but we don't really feel like being happy, you know. This is just the facade, and this is that we are in fact sad, and we should improve to our way to be happy again, by switching the attitude and the perspective, whatnot, do everything we can to go to get to the other place again. Okay. This one is can mean telepathy, but it can also be a hanged man. But it also can be a feeling. If you look at him, he looks a bit scared, almost, just a little bit. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, this one, well, it can be a feeling. I'm pretty sure you know that a feeling like this exists. You know, aggression almost, right? We are just scribbling along, but it can also be a mess, mental mess, right? Something we should detangle, but it's almost impossible to do so. Yeah. This is the brown star. Yeah. It's quite abstract, but you probably can guess what this card means, right? The brown star. yeah, can mean so many things. Mostly not really positive, but who am I to judge? A portal like this is important. Imagine not having a brown star. We would explode. Yeah. And this is a magic card, but it can also be a dandelion. You know what you just blow all the seeds away and they fly. But it's gold, so it's very magical, right? It's a very magical card. Yeah, obviously. Music is very important. It connects us all. And it's not just music, it can also mean making music, everything that's related to music somehow, and an instrument. And yeah, so yes. And this is the shower. A shower cleans us from dirt, right? And sometimes just sitting in a shower and rocking back and forth is also nice, right? The pyramid is the most stable structure. I very much like it, and it also really reflects our collective, since this is the cat collective. And as you know, it always reminds me of Egypt, and that they saw cats as gods, and well, cats certainly still know that. Yeah, so yeah, that's why wired phone, right? And well, the communication is a little bit, sometimes it just means that there's an incoming message, but sometimes it also means, because this is a bit weird there, that the communication is not as clear as it should be, or not coming in on time later, but something's coming, right? But it can also mean a little bit of the past, you know, because of the virus, yeah. And well, this is a feeling. He's quite scared, but he could also be stressed. Yeah, there are a lot of meanings that you could put into him, right? Yeah. So this can be a fart, but it doesn't have to. This is, it could also mean an explosion or something loud. It could also mean the tower in some circumstances. So yeah. Yeah, the Snailian card. That's a card that where I want to basically share other tarot readers whenever I'm making a reading and it pops up. So that's what's going to happen eventually. It didn't happen so far, but this channel is not that old, so yeah. And well, the Snailian. It's also, again, I think, a very good representation of something that is very day-to-day and basic. And a snail is also underappreciated, I think, because I really like them. Like, they are one of my favorite animals. I really like snails. And the Snailian, some people are disgusted by snails, but sometimes some people might also be scared. If you would put a snail into someone's face, maybe they would scream. And maybe some people have the same perceptions about aliens too. I'm not sure. So again, 1,000 meanings. Speaking of, there we have him. So this off-planet energy, aliens, ETs, whatever, Yes, look at him. Can also be a mood. It all depends. Yeah. This one looks like, I don't know what this is, but it's something. And It has got eyes, but it's 3 pupils, so the number 3 can mean things in certain readings, but this also could look like a sperm, maybe, from a different planet. I don't know, something really weird. It's a weird card. Yeah. Meow. A cat, a cat represents everything what the cat means. For me, a cat can be lazy. Whatever image pops into my head whenever I see the card. Can also be cute, or someone I miss, because I do have a lot of cats who have departed. So, speaking of, this is a car, right? And a car can also mean 1,000 things, but this card especially has got, besides of all the meanings a car has, a special meaning to me. It means someone from spirit, because my dad used to have a car like this, and he has departed. So this car had a very special meaning in our family. That's where we went to flea markets with, and just made some trips, on the weekend. Not too far away. It was a very old Mercedes, so not too far away, but yeah, it's a very special car and a very special meaning for me with all my heart. This one, well, those are layers, right? So the layers of the onion, and if you dig deeper and remove a layer, you see more, and dig deeper and everything. So this basically means this. And yeah, a spiral always means for me that there's that you dig deeper, or that you are on a way to something, yeah. And also meditation. And those are a lot of faces. And can mean friends, it can mean observers, it can mean a lot, right? You know how it works with tarot. One card alone is always a bit well, one card alone can mean a lot, but you can go deeper when you have more cards. So yeah, obviously. Depending how I am drawn to, it could also mean a water drop. It doesn't have to mean just cry. And whenever there are words to it, there's more depth to it. And when you are crying, there's obviously more depth. So that's a very special card. The burp. The burp actually comes with a button. This one, right? And the burp, when you're burping, when you are burping, you are releasing air that has been built up. So it's not comfortable if you are too filled with, right? You can feel it creeping up and you have to release it. So this basically means, what do you have to release? Yeah, look at that. That's someone who doesn't talk, but it can also mean that, doesn't have to be someone else, could be you, and it could also mean that someone would like to talk, but they are not talking, but they wish they could, and if they would have a lot of things to say. Yeah. Again, something very day-to-day, but it's a reflection if our houses and our living spaces are cluttered, and it reflects a lot back to us. I found it very interesting when I decluttered a bit, how much more mental clarity I had when I sorted through my stuff. I'm still ending up with a little bit of a mess here and there, but I always feel a little bit better after I cleaned up. And this doesn't just mean clean up your house, it also means clean up your thoughts, maybe digital data. It's a lot. That's a handstand, but it could also mean the hanged woman or man. But when you look at it this way, she also almost appears a little bit electrified, right? So yeah. Oh yeah. So the nose, while you sniff things with it, the nose itself has got meanings, but the fact that this is written in Czech also means that it could be some communication that you don't understand because you don't speak the language. So I don't speak Czech, I'm from Germany, so I do speak German and English, and therefore I wouldn't really know what people in Czech are talking. Yeah. And yes, that's a crown. Can mean a big achievement, or just something special because of the way people see a crown. Well, usually kings and queens, they don't really achieve something based on their behavior. They are just getting born into things, right? Could be a natural talent, maybe. So yeah. This is a star constellation. So again, it's can be stars, but also connections, you know, connecting the dots. Yeah. The bird. The bird is a messenger. And, well, birds. Just think about birds. And sometimes when I just look at the card, I sometimes think about different birds. Sometimes I think about a pigeon, and sometimes I think about a duck. They are all birds, but they are so different, right? So, a lot of meanings. A ghost can mean a ghost, but it also can mean ghosting or getting blocked, or someone who disappears, someone who departs, something like that. Window, some curtains, where you usually look out of a window or look inside of a window. That's again, that's a judgment, but that can be creepy, right? If you look inside of, just saying. But yeah. And this one also, this window reminds me of a window at my parents' place in the kitchen. And it's a very special window for me. I looked at it every day as a kid. My parents are both not alive anymore, so it always reminds me of also home and parents and stuff like that. Yeah. A flower bouquet, but you know, when you gift someone a bouquet of flowers, they usually die. They are already dead, right? So this is an offer without roots, and there's a question mark, whatever I'm drawn to, but it's just a personal thing. I'm not really, I don't really like getting flowers like this. If someone would, I mean, I do appreciate and I do understand the cultural meaning behind someone giving me, for example, a flower bouquet, but I always think about that those flowers are dead and they will just die in front of my eyes, and that's it, right? And then I throw them away. The intentions behind it, you know, in this meaning, for me, the intentions behind it are not really based on a foundation, right? yeah, obviously heartbreak. Probably 3 of swords, a little bit, yeah, but without the swords. But it can also mean, doesn't have to mean heartbreak, because it can also mean that 2 hearts, 2 halves of a heart return to each other again, right? High strung, confusion. Yeah, a lot of things. Look at the pupils, they're a little bit out of order. Yeah, but an arrow. Also, again, you can be hit by Cupid's arrow, and you can point to something. It shows you a direction. So many things, right? Yeah, divine timing. We all have heard of this. And yeah, it's set on 3 o'clock, and it's a spiral again. And those things, they have come up a lot of times, you know. This also means growth for me, because like it's a flower or some nature things that grow, you know. A little bit of maybe wheat here and there, right? Grows everywhere. This is magic, yay! Yeah, look at all the magic. Funny side fact, the lamination has 2 sides. So this is a shiny one, and this is a more matte one. That's where the glue is, basically. So all my cards, I have put this, or most of them, I put them in with a glue on this side, and this one is without glue. And except for this one, and I think 1 or 2 other ones, just because this is glitter glue, you know, and when you put a glue on this side, it would cause it a little bit to warp or something, so I put it this way, so it looks a little bit different. We compare them. Yeah, nature and flower can mean gifts, can mean nature, yeah, can mean a lot. And every memory you have, you know, I'm a really big fan of including your own memories into readings. Whatever image pops up when you see a card, you know, because every experience we so far had came with some sort of conclusion, and we might put some things together, like we make connections based on our experiences, and they might be totally different compared to other people's interpretation. That's why I think also that it's a good way to look at several tarot readings, you know, just because other people have made other connections and whatever resonates, right? But the radio also means music for me, in a way, but it also means a message from an unusual source. So when you hear a song randomly on the radio, there could be actually a message for you in it, if you are resonating with the song, you know. So therefore also words. Yeah, that's a scary hand, actually, this way. That's a creepy one, right? It represents fear. You know, imagine hands like this creeping up at you at night. It's kind of scary, isn't it? But they could also be friendly and just wanting to touch you, but, well, just 3 fingers, that's weird, right? Yeah, so again, the number 3 can be 3-party, can mean layers, yeah. A TV often means for me manipulation. It's just my personal language. But it can also mean a movie or something like that. But I'm always drawn to manipulation and also procrastination, because if you watch too much of it, you in fact do procrastinate. Yeah, the muffin represents for me addictions, just because, well, you know, muffin, you gotta eat it. If you see a muffin, you have to eat it. That's what I think, you know. If I see a muffin, it has to be in my mouth. Yeah. Okay, a book. Right? A book. Someone could write you a book. It could also mean a letter and handwritten things, but also knowledge and stories. Yeah. Yeah, that's the art card. And well, art. You know, what for me just started with a few drawings, turned into a bit of an obsession, and then turned into discovering my psychic abilities through art, because I drew things that later became true. And it's just a highly spiritual activity. Highly recommend. And yeah, and it also led me to a tarot deck, my own tarot deck. And yeah, flowers and bees and everything. So obviously this can mean a lot. Can mean just flower and the bee and nature and stuff like that, but it could also mean, well, interpersonal activities. Let's say it like that. Okay. Again, it depends what I'm drawn to. It can mean like the infinity symbol. It means a lot, right? Infinity. But a pen can also be used as a tool. So if I'm pulling this card in a relationship reading, I'm always questioning if the person the reading is for is being used as a tool. You know, sometimes people do that just to uplift themselves without giving back, you know. And but it also can mean communication in the handwritten letter. So it means a lot, you know. Yeah, or art, or doing something, making something, because I make those cards with a pen, right? Like not a fountain pen, but you know. Love, a special one, a major arcana one, because hey, the heart is red. That's not often seen in this deck. Yeah, that's a mood, but it can also represent feminine energy because she's a girl, you know. But that's a mood most of the times. Yeah, that's often for me a divine masculine energy. But when I'm drawn to the tie, I think about soul ties. When I'm drawn to the coat, I'm thinking about special clothing, you know, some special occasion, right? Yay, UFO! Yeah, we are all waiting to be abducted, right? And yeah, it can be a scary object if you're scared of. I mean, if you would see something like this, of course you're first a little bit scared because it's otherworldly, but it doesn't have to be. You know, this person is certainly flying up. Yeah, it always means somehow other off-planet energy also, like the ET card. But it can also mean, in a way, transportation, in a very abstract way. Look at this person is in love, right? Yeah, it's a mood as well. If you, for example, if you adopt an animal, then you look like that, right? This is more the void, you know, when you're feeling empty a little bit inside. Also because there are no arms whatsoever. Yeah, so it's also kind of a mood. This is a magnifying glass, but it can also be seen as a mirror. However it applies in this reading. There's another love card because, hey, that's important to put a lot of love into your readings. So, yeah. Okay, those are parallel lines. They are close but not together. So apply this in a relationship reading. This is actually an offer with roots. So, you know, very good guidance card, but also if you don't see it as an offer and you see it that someone removes the flowers from the garden with the roots, right? It's just up to the interpretation. The egg can mean the pineal gland, but can also mean something very fragile, or the question, what was there first? Yeah, a lot of things. The wand. So it's basically a close-up of a very big wand. Yeah, can be seen as interpersonal activity thing again, but a wand can also be something that you protect yourself with, something that you hold to, you know, sometimes to go for a walk, you know, something like a walking stick, but it can also mean protection and, yeah, overall, and the very masculine energy. Yeah, clouds, quite psychedelic, to have the heads in the clouds, the heads, several of them. Yeah, and it also always reminds me of dreams and something that's not really something that you cannot really touch, you know, but it's still there. It can also mean confusion, you know. Look at those eyes there a little bit. Yeah, well, yeah. What is this? I don't know. It was supposed to be a banana, but I don't know. So it's clearly also a confusion card. Can also mean banana. I don't know. I haven't understood this card completely yet. It will tell me over time. That's the silver mess. And it's basically like the other mood card. It's just a little bit even more messy. But silver for me means that there's some value in the mess. So, yeah. Yes. Yeah. Well, this is a bucket, but it could also be a bin. Most of the times it's a bin. But it can also be a portal or an endless well. Yeah. And if you remember, there's another card way down there, the meditation card. So when the other card means meditation, this one means overthinking and thoughts. And look at how small this figure is compared to all the thoughts, right? Yeah. Last but not least, we do have words. This could also mean a letter, communication. Yeah, just the whole thing extracted into one single card. Yeah, there we have it. Those are all the cards. I must say, I don't know how many cards are in this deck right now. I leave the option open to add a few more cards eventually. So I think this is a ever expanding deck, and it's been a ride to make it. Took me a few hours, but it's very precious, because when you draw like when you make a reading with this, you know, those are all the original drawings. So this deck is unique on this planet. Only I have it, and I'm actually kind of glad that only I have it, because this is really something that yeah, it's quite personal, but that's also how the spiritual journey is. It's a personal journey for everyone, and it's an important journey. And yeah, look at the gifts what you can get out of this. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed the tour. So this deck is not available to buy. It's just here sitting on my desk and waiting to be used. I very much hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think about it, and I highly encourage you, if you are somewhat creative, to make your own deck. You know, just your own deck for yourself. You can always add other decks to it, but it so much enhances your language with spirituality. Yeah. So yeah, that's that. Bye bye.